Hello, in this problem we've got a monopoly and they're going to decide how much to produce and with which supplier. So we've got this television station. They want to do these promotional DVDs that they will have a monopoly on. It can have the videos produced by one of two suppliers. Supplier A has a setup fee, which will represent a fixed cost of $1,200 plus $2 marginal cost for each DVD. Seller B is no setup fee but $4 marginal cost. Okay. The station estimates its demand for the videos to be that. Okay, so a couple of things that we need to know here. We've got, suppose that the station wants to give away the DVD players. So for that, it's going to be P equals 0. Okay. And then in this case, we want to produce to where price using what's called the profit maximizing quantity. Okay, so we need to figure out what is profit maximizing, and that is going to be done where the marginal cost equals marginal revenue, but we've got two different marginal costs. So we've got marginal cost from supplier A, which is 4, and then marginal cost, supplier A is 2, and then supplier B is 4. Okay. Just recall that they will have fixed costs of $1,200. That won't make a difference in their production decision, just in their total profit that we need to figure out. So suppose the station plans to give away the DVDs, so we're going to do price of 0. Okay, so how many DVDs is that? So we'll just plug in price of 0 right there, and we get Q equals 1,600. So Q is 1,600. So the thing that we need to figure out is who's cheaper for 1,600 DVDs. So if I order them from supplier A, I'm going to do 1,600 times 2, which is 3,200. This is our cost. So A, we should call this total cost from A, plus our 1,200, because that was our fixed cost. Okay, so written like Winnie the Pooh there, it's going to be 4,400 is the total cost. And then total cost of buying them from B is just be $4 a piece. So 1,600 times 4, let's just make sure I get the right answer. 1,600 times 4, 6,400. 6,400. And this one doesn't have any fixed costs. We'll just add that to 0. Okay. So this is 6,400. So in this case, we want to buy them from seller A. Okay, we'll do that in blue. Seller A is the right answer for the first one. Okay, suppose instead the station wants to maximize its profits from the sale of DVDs. What price should it charge? Okay, so we're going to charge the price that corresponds to this quantity along the demand curve. So I need to do some things here. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Stop writing in bold. Okay. So I need to rearrange the demand curve, and I've already got quantity. So this is our demand curve, 1,600 minus 200p. I want to rearrange it so that I can get price by itself, and then multiply that by quantity. That'll give us total revenue. So total revenue is going to be price times quantity. So rearranging this to get what's called an inverse demand curve, we want 200p equals 1,600 minus Q, and then divide all the way through by 200, so it would be P equals 8 minus, you can write this a couple different ways. I'm going to write it as 1 over 200 times Q. But if it helps you, what we really have is P equals 8 minus 1 200. This way you can see it, times Q. Or you can also write that like this: 8 minus Q over 200, since Q is just where the 1 is. Okay, so back to this. Okay, so now I've got price isolated by itself, and I get total revenue. So total revenue is going to be 8Q minus 1 over 200. I guess you could put it in parentheses, make it a little easier there. Q squared. Okay. Now to get marginal revenue, that's just the derivative with respect to Q of that total revenue function. So that's why I did that. Okay. So this would be, it's 2 over, I'll write it out, it's 2 over 200 times Q, which is like saying marginal revenue is 8 minus 1 over 100, rather, sorry, times Q. Okay, so now I've got marginal revenue, and I've got the two marginal costs, so I can now solve for that. Okay, so let's do firm A. How many DVDs would I produce using firm A? And so I would go 2, that's our marginal cost, equals 8 minus 1 over, actually we can write it this way, Q over 100. Okay, so that becomes negative 6 negative Q over 100. Okay, so I'll multiply everything by negative 100, and I get Q equals 600. So I will produce 600 DVDs with company A. Okay, my total revenue, if I do that, 600. Oh, I need to figure out the price, sorry. So I'm going to plug in 600 into this function right here. Okay, so that's going to be P equals 8 minus 600 over 200, which is the same way as saying 3. So price would be 8 minus 3, which would be 5. Okay, so total revenue is going to be 5 times 600, which is 3,000. Total cost is going to be 600 DVDs times $2 each, so that's $1,200. Plus that fee I have to pay, $1,200. Okay, so that's $2,400. And then profit is total revenue minus total cost. So 3,000 minus 2,400 is 600. So the answer here is, if you were to use station A or supplier A, the company would make $600. Okay, let's compare that if we use firm B. So firm B has this other marginal cost. So firm B's marginal cost is 4. We're going to set that equal to marginal revenue, so 8 minus Q over 100. Okay, so that's negative 4 negative Q over 100. Okay, so with this more expensive production cost in marginal terms, I'm going to produce 400 units there. Okay. What price am I going to charge? Well, already I can look at it. The price is going to be a little bit higher than it would be if I was producing 600. So I'm going to plug in 400 into our demand function there. So it'd be 8 minus 400 over 200, and I get a price of 6. Okay, so total revenue is going to be 2,400, and then total cost is going to be the DVDs times the marginal cost of producing each one. So that would be 1,600. Profit is whatever the difference between total revenue and total cost is. So that's going to be 800 if I use Supplier B. So the answer to the second one is we should use Station B. We should purchase 800 units, and we should charge a price. No, that's not right. We should not produce 800 units. We should produce 400 units. Sorry, a mistake there. 400 units. So quantity is 400. And if I charge 400, I should charge, or if I make 400 or order 400 from that company, then I should charge a price of 6. We'll make a profit of 800, which is more than 600. So I'm going to go with B.